Okay, you're deep in the jungle, hanging with a friendly jaguar. Or how about in outer space playing the.
What's up, fight fans? And I'm checking out my mic right now. Did a couple things here to the camera, see if some of these things work here. Let me get set up real quick. We have a lot to talk about. We have a right. Let me lower that a little. See if that helps. Let me know if y'all can hear me loud and clear. Oh yeah, I want to check one more thing. All right. It's working good. Got everything. I want to adjust this camera a little bit better, but I'll get to that. That's all right. What's up, Rob? I'm here, homie. Yo, Rob, listen, brother. I was just gonna call you, in fact, and I want to see if you can get on the jack with me in my ear and read off the comments as we go into my ear, like that, so that I can keep the flow of the thing going. So I'm about to call you. What's up, Frontline? Salud, brother. All right, everything checks out there. So now let me. All right. Ah, how is this gonna work here? We about to find out how this is gonna work. I'm gonna make it work. What's up? So, if you could do that while everything's going on, just read out the names and stuff and let me know what people are saying, and we can keep this show going. All right. All right. Listen, what's up, everybody? Carlos, how you doing? In the building. Frontlines in the building. Let's get this episode started. But before I get into the Naoya Inoue and Luis Pantera Nari's fight, I made a real interesting thumbnail. Can't wait for you guys to see it. But hold on a second, real quick. I got to get my uniform on. Hold on, hold on, hold on. I gotta keep remembering. You know what I mean? Can't be. I'm on putting on everybody's stuff. So let me throw on the Round One Sports Talk jersey. Sweatsuit in the building. How them guns looking? Yeah. There we go. There we go. Now we right. Now we right. All right, let's get this show started. Well, Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is kicking off their press conference. And like always, there's something between Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney. They're going at each other. Devin Haney smushed him. Ryan was in there in his face disrespecting him. Um, and it builds for excitement leading up into the fight. Ryan's out there, showing off his abs, and he seems like he's more concerned about his appearance and what people think about him than what this fight means to him. I believe that, if Ryan Garcia happens to pull this off, this would go down as one of the biggest trolling jobs ever in the history of boxing. If he goes in there and he really shows up in this fight, he would leave all of us speechless. I'm trying to tell you, there would be so many jaws dropping in that fight, um, because of just this, everybody doesn't think that his head's into it. But um, you know, I'm not really sure what kind of version of Ryan Garcia we're gonna get actually. I really think I'm still on the line that Devin Haney's gonna really wipe him down. And you know, after this fight right here, we could talk more or less where Ryan Garcia stands in his career and what direction is Devin Haney willing to go. Devin Haney himself has talked about unifying titles, and he really wants a fighter with Teofimo Lopez. Newly acquired champion Isa Pitbull Cruz. I know that Isai's in a point in his career where he's like, show me the money. He's willing to put it all on the line, and you know, for a big paycheck, if it makes dollars, it makes sense. Isa Pitbull Cruz will probably be in on it. Um, I'm not sure if he's gonna like just want to be happy with some lackluster fights and not getting paid so much, because at this level in the game, you got to remember that every fight is a risk. You're taking a risk every time you go out there. So if you're going to take a risk at your world title, you might as well take a risk and get paid, and share the ring with some of these big names. It would be an honor to share the ring with Devin Haney, Subriel Matias, even Teofimo Lopez, because they are decorated champions, and Teofimo Lopez is a legitimate two-division world champion, such as Devin Haney you know um and Matias is making another title defense on his title. So if he's successful in Puerto Rico, this will be another title defense on his title, which will also make him the best 140-pound champion active right now in boxing. He would have the more title defenses. Josh Taylor, once upon a time, did have all four belts, but that was once upon a time. I'm talking about what's currently active. I'm not going to give you credit for what you once did. The sport moves on and shows certain you. So this is what's currently active and going on. So, it would really answer a lot of questions after this fight, but the anticipation building up to Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is getting bigger. As we get closer to Saturday, I have to see it. I have to see it. Ryan Garcia is going to have to make me a believer. All this talk about what he's going to do to Devin Haney and how he's going to do it, show me. I would like to see that. I would really like to see that. So, you know, yeah, he was showing that he's on weight. Yeah, he wanted to show the abs. He wanted to show that he was focused. Yeah, I dig everything that he was doing. Yeah. No, not really. Because I'm gonna keep it funky with you. If you didn't notice, Ryan Garcia was the only person out there with no shirt on. It's fucking cold as shit. Everybody else in that in and if you go back and you watch it, everybody got sweaters, jacket on. It's cold as hell up there on the top of that building. It's way colder up there than it is downstairs. Ryan was crazy as hell coming out there. I think Devin Haney's ripped the fuck up, but he was just smart. You don't want to catch pneumonia before the fight. You know, Ryan Garcia is so anxious and so desperate to want to prove to people that he's ready, and that he's there, that he has to do these kind of things. They also said that Ryan Garcia was in a club last night, chilling, partying in a club. Now, once upon a time, there was a man that used to do the exact same Floyd Money Mayweather. Mayweather, like days before the fight, TMZ, whatever back then was, you know, um, paparazzi type people would take pictures of Floyd in the nightclub and then they would record it. Then the fighter he was gonna fight against caught wind of it and was like, look at Floyd, he's in a club partying. No, 20 minutes, 25 minutes later, Floyd went right out the back door, threw on his Nike sneakers, and started jogging. He just wanted them to take pictures of him to give the image of his opponent thinking he's partying. Now, is Ryan Garcia that smart? And is he that dedicated where that he can be taking a picture with a drink and not take a sip of it? Is he really that? How long do you stay in he stood in that club for? Hang around a barbershop, eventually you're going to get a haircut. You stay in there long enough, eventually you'll get a haircut, right? He stays with that drink in his hand, eventually he's going to take a sip. It depends where his level of dedication is. And was he really out there drinking just last night? This fight is a few days away. He's out having shots, drinks. Talk about, I'm going to have one glass of wine a week. What the fuck is going on with you, kid? Where that you're putting your own stipulations on yourself, but you're allowing it to play out for everybody knows because somehow it's not a problem? Really? Ah, I tell you right now, man. Devin Haney blows his nose to make weight. He is truly gifted when it comes to the art of cutting weight. Devin Haney. Case in point, leading into the Regis Progress fight, he weighed in on weigh-ins, right? At 140 pounds. But it was reported that on fight night, he walked into that ring 165. 165? You mean to tell me that you gained an additional 25 pounds within a 24-hour period? Yo, that's a skill. He literally drained all the water out of his body and sucked the life out of himself and was able to replenish and hydrate that much stronger. Now, let me remind you about something that is really key in boxing that I'm not sure everybody's aware of, right? When you cut weight, what you're doing is you're taking all the water out of your body, okay? And what happens is the first organ in your body to lose all its water, it's your brain. And then all the other organs empty out from water. When you go to replenish the water back into your body, the last organ to take water in is your brain. So all your other organs have to be rehydrated first. Okay? What do you need in a fight? Your brain not to be dehydrated. Why? Because when you're dehydrated, the space in between your brain, the tissue, and your skull is this much wider. Had you been fully replenished, it would have been like this. That's why fatter guys, heavyweights, are able to take bigger punches because they're fully replenished. Dehydration will cause that window, the air pocket, to go like that, and you're going out. That's what how a knockout is created. You see? So you got to get a lot of fluids back into your body. You ever notice no sooner that they get off and they make weight, they're like, yeah, he made weight, whatever it was. Someone to the right or to the left of them always hands them a bottle of like a liquid. And those are all proteins and vitamins in that water. And they just start chugging from right there. All day, they're just eating and drinking liquids and getting all those electrolytes back into their body, trying to hydrate their body. That way they don't get knocked out faster. So that's a skill. That's a real skill. Not everyone can cut weight like that. After a while of you, it's dangerous to take fights back to back because you got to cut weight. And that does something to your kidneys and to your livers. I've seen men cut weight and pass out. I see it's dangerous if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have the right team that knows what they're doing to cut weight. When you're young, you're like 14, 13 years old and you're cutting weight, your body's so new that, your body's so strong. You can do things like that and snap out and be 100 within fucking hours. But as you age and all this food and stuff that we eat that is not good for our body, it gets harder and harder to do such. That's why a lot of these fighters need good nutritionists and watch what they eat so that their body, doesn't clog up with all that bullshit. And Devin Haney's really skilled, but he was also really young during this entire time. Mind you, he just turned 25, right? So he's been young. So when he went into a lot of these big fights, Devin Haney was able to do such. Yeah, look, yes, 165 was the correct weight that Devin went into the fight with Regis Progress, and it is no secret. It is no secret. You can go right now to Boxing Record and anywhere else. They've already reported it. Even Devin Haney's father himself has said it. You know what I mean? But who's, uh that's why everyone says that Devin was killing himself to make 135. He was so big. Remember when he got in that ring with Loma? And Loma was like, yo, what the fuck are you, a heavyweight? Because he was so big. Brother was in the ring eating a slice of pizza while eating bomb bombs. Like, you want to fight, Loma? Like, yo, Devin was great. But he's so young that the weight flies off him. He's got to watch himself because later in life it might not work out too good for him. And he might miss weight one day thinking his body's going to. But yeah, that's what he came in. And do you see what I'm talking about, El Paco? Right? This is what I'm talking about. And this is why the IBF belt is a great belt to have, right? Because it caters to boxers, right? And it puts a 10-pound rehydration claw. The IBF is basically saying, yes, we'll let you gain weight after the fight, but 10 pounds is enough. We believe 10 pounds, and I'm in agreement with that. There should be no reason why Devin Haney entered that fight against Regis Progress, 165 pounds for a 140-pound title fight. You see? Had he had the IBF restrictions on him, he would have only been able to gain 10 pounds. In fact, every single time Subriel Matias fights, when Liam Paro goes into that fight with him, he can only gain 10 pounds. So I can tell you the maximum weight of both fighters entering that fight is going to be 150. Guaranteed. If you go over by 1 pound, it disqualifies you from winning their belt because you didn't go within their rules. See? So you can get disqualified either on the scale the night of the fight for the IBF or the day after if you do not watch how much weight you gain. That is up to you. Yes, sir. So the IBF is on that shit. You want to be in this weight division? Be a real guy from this weight division. Don't just have a natural skill to be able to cut weight and you're fucking 6'4" fighting at 130 pounds, right? You know what I mean? Like the Towering Inferno when he was even fighting in lower weight divisions. Bro, they were looking up at that guy like this, this is some bullshit. Yo, just because you're skinny as hell and you can cut weight, this ain't right. you know? So, but some organizations are on that shit where they believe, yo, if you can cut the weight and make that weight, then you can fight. And they don't care about anything else. And I think some things in boxing should change, but I don't think I have the power to change that. But I would like to advocate for shit like that because, yeah, 165 was a little too big, bro. To be like fucking around with that shit like that. Nah, it's, you know, ah. What's up, Haney is a hype job. They wake me up with Haney finally fight someone his size and know that. Mhm. It's 17 pounds, baby. Yo, what's up, brother? Refledo. Santiago, how you doing, brother? Blessings. Well, a lot of people say weight bully. If you can make the weight, then how are you a bully? You know what I mean? Everybody has the potential of doing the same thing. Why isn't everybody else doing it? Uh, so there's a lot of people that view it both ways. Being a weight bully still are not gonna make you possess you to have all the skills that you should have. You could be able to cut weight, but can you fight? Do you got skills to back that up? You see? So it's just one thing to cut weight. Yeah, that's a part of boxing, but there's also many other parts that go into the fight. Can you fight? Can you pull it off? You could be the biggest weight bully in the world and go in there and get knocked out repeatedly. That doesn't automatically guarantee you a fight because you got 20 pounds on this guy. Floyd Mayweather used to go inside of that ring and beat guys 20, 30 pounds heavier than him. Miguel Cotto had 26, almost 30 pounds on Floyd Mayweather on their fight on fight night. So didn't Saul Canelo Alvarez. Floyd Mayweather was never a true 147 pounder, 154 pounder. Bro, he used to make that weight with bricks in his pocket. At times he would weigh in, he would be under the 154 mark, in fact, right? And on the night of the fight, he would lose 2 pounds. Floyd, he couldn't gain no weight. Miguel Cotto gained like 26 pounds the night before the fight. In that fight. He was huge. He was huge. And Floyd was out there fighting these massive side dudes, bro. Yo, it's crazy. I remember one fight, the guy nearly had 50 pounds on him. I forget which fight it was. Yo, it was crazy. Floyd used to take these risks. He was not a big man at all, but he dared to be great. And he was up there fighting way bigger dudes, So at some point, that's going to happen to Devin Haney. You know what I mean? When he starts hitting, like if he enters the 147, 154, he's going to get much older. I really want to see who's going to be there. If Jerron Boots Ennis is still around fighting up there, or did he move on? I'm not sure if Jerron Boots Ennis would go up to 160. I don't know what would happen with him, but if he was anywhere near there, I would like to see them fight a Jerron Boots Ennis versus a Devin Haney type fight. Um, and then it was reported that Tank Davis, right, in Frank Martin's date, it still hasn't been finalized. So I don't even know when they're gonna fight, but I want to see their fight, and because a lot of these guys, we were promised a long time ago to actually watch these guys fight. We were promised to see Tank Davis and Devin Haney fight. Did we get the fight? No. Okay. And there are a lot of big fights that are coming up. And May's going to be in a very explosive month. And we have Naoya Inoue coming into this fight with Luis Pantera Nares, and that is a big fight in many ways. Fight fans, if you love the sweet science and you love to see some fucking, some real slick knockout artist shit, check this Japanese dude out. And I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I've been around a long time in boxing. I've been around a lot of men. I've been in and out of different gyms. With my father, I used to go down to Atlantic City and Jersey, and I've met up my share of people, right? And every single time in any gym I've ever been in every conversation, in any barbershop, whenever you mention a guy from across the pond being a threat, we all giggle. We all have a good laugh, right? Because inside of us, they all do good over there. Now I'm talking about these conversations were 20 years ago. This is 20 years ago. We took place. You know, things have changed. And boy, have they changed. I no longer view these guys as just good over there. A lot of these guys are getting world class training, good coaching, and boxing is starting to evolve. We're starting to see fighters from all over the world, fighters such as Loma, Triple G, you know, Usyk, Anthony Joshua. Fighters are really starting to improve and they're starting to come to America and they're starting to develop themselves and take what they learned back there. In fact, this gentleman right here, Naoya Inoue, he is a Japanese fighter. And I got to be honest with you, when they said he was a Japanese fighter, I was like, huh, you know, I really didn't take notice in the beginning, first part of his career. And man, I'm upset with myself. Throughout the courses, I got more familiar with him and I went back and I didn't just watch his highlights. I actually sat back and watched his fights. Every time I watch his fights, I notice and I learn something different. Things that he does in the ring. Very smart shit. And I'm very impressed. I don't get usually easily impressed watching fights. I've seen the best. I'm a spoiled boxing fan. I'm what you call a spoiled. I came from an era with, the Floyd Mayweathers, the Mosleys, the Oscar De La Hoyas, the Sweepy Pernell Whitakers, the Marvelous Haglers. I saw Sugar Ray at the tail end. I saw so many great fights. And once you watch Sweepy Pernell Whitaker and Roy Jones Jr., and you watch fighters like that, and you watch them for so long, when fighting took a dip and the performance from the guys weren't on them level, I kind of walked away from the sport. I was spoiled. I was used to watching Floyd fight, Manny Pacquiao, those kind of guys. They were electrifying, and they were big for their time. And these guys that were coming around just couldn't hold their jockstrap, and I had walked away. Men like this brought me back to the sport. Men like Terrence Crawford, men like Tank Davis. When they started hopping on the scene, I was like, they're good, but they're not, Sugar Ray, Sugar good, they're not Floyd good, you know. I was just like, and some of these guys, I was like, shit, they're not even Zab Judah good. Like Zab Judah was explosive, right? And then I started watching and I started paying attention more and more. Then I came across him. And once I came across Naoya Inoue, it was a wrap for me. I had never seen anything like it. With each fight and each performance, boy, did he get better and better. He had a different approach, a different tactic, and he had a different punch the way to knock the guy out. Sometimes things shit just happens and he just goes with it. The fact that, as for myself, I can train a lot and I can prepare myself for a selection or a sequence in an event. But I didn't have that ability to recognize something as fast as he does. And sometimes I've trained so much for a particular sequence that I'm just waiting for that to happen. And I might miss other opportunities because I'm too locked in on one particular sequence because I know it's going to happen. It's true when he says, flow like water. He just goes out there and he lets nature take its course. He doesn't try to, force anything. He just reads what his opponent's giving him and he's taking it. And if he sees right away that he has you staggered, hurt, if he smells any blood, if he sees you wobble just a little bit, that's your ass. And he's a great finisher. I believe, as finishing rates, having men hurt, the only man he didn't get to finish was Donito Donaire because the referee saved his ass, right? And he was fighting the whole fight for 10 rounds with a fractured orbital bone. So I got to commend him on that one. But anyone else is 100% finish ratio. You can't wobble in front of him. And, the other day I was talking about unique, interesting moments inside of a fight. In particular with Naoya Inoue, he's always alert. He's always looking for that punch coming back, but he's also giving you a lot of offense. He's hitting you with shots that's telling you you need to do something, which puts most fighters in a panic situation that's going to want them to exchange. They want these punches to stop. In order to get these punches to stop, they're going to throw a punch. That's where Naoya Inoue is the most effective, the slickest, and he wants a highlight reel knockout. He's going to end up on ESPN in the number one spot tonight. Fuck around and you try to exchange with him when he has you hurt. That's what's going to happen. Paul Butler, um, Stephen Kubo Fulton, and even Marlon Tapales didn't fall for that. When they were hurt many times in the fight, they would shell up and they didn't break that shell. They didn't want to take the risk of exchanging with him. They seen what happened to men like Payano, Jason Maloney, men that dared to exchange with him while their head was still buzzing. It wasn't a good idea. He's really sharp. And you see, a lot of fighters can, like a lot of people, like I say, the minute they say what weight division he in, what nationality he is, most Americans are going to be like, but I'm telling you, I am telling you, I really don't speak so highly about a fighter unless for me it's worth it. And I'm trying to tell you right now, this Japanese dude is worth looking into. If you like exciting fighters like Subriel Matias. Subriel Matias is a knockout artist. This is another one. And he's impressive in the way he does it. The other day I took my time and I really started to break down the Tapales fight with him. And why was Tapales so effective against him? You see? Yo, up on the donation. Thank you, Round One Sports Talk. You know what we got to do for that? We give you a round one bell. And I was really impressed, but I was also curious. Tapales, and I'm going to read your comment and everything in a second. And I wanted to know why what was it, was it the fact that he was a lefty, and Naoya Inoue has dispersed lefties quicker. So I was like, maybe he didn't come across that lefty, maybe it was tricky for him, but in fact it wasn't. He was shutting down his jab, he was shooting right over it at times, so he was taking that away. Tapales had to switch up his style, and that's the one thing I saw, that Naoya Inoue does not ignore things that you're doing in front of him. And I find that to be very, very unique, because no matter what a guy sometimes is doing in front of you, you're really not paying it. You're focused on, bro, if he just drops that one hand or whatever, or I'm just now, this is my time, I'm gonna apply pressure, and you're not really focused. Why is he like this? And then he's like this, then hands down here, then they up, high guard, low guard. You're not really, you're just fighting him. You see, when Tapales started doing that, he started reading him. He started checking him out and giving him shots to see what he does. When he saw that he didn't do the same thing twice, he goes, man, you're making this shit up as you go. Good try, but you don't know how to sustain it. That's when he put the pressure on him, because he's not fluid in what he's doing. He doesn't have an answer for your attack, a defense to that style, an offense to that style, and how to retreat to that in that style. He's making the style up as he's going. He's just doing anything to fucking try to get him to think. And it worked for a little while until he figured him out. And that's high level shit. That is really high level shit. So, like, yeah. Really appreciate you focusing on lightweight classes and watch Naoya closely as Japan's fans. Yes, absolutely. Listen, it's not even about watching this guy. He's him. If I watch boxing and I cover boxing, why wouldn't I cover him? He is probably the greatest fighter we have active today. And I'll stand on that. I'll stand on that. I love his style over any other boxer that there is currently today. There's a couple other boxers that are in the room with him, such as Terrence Crawford. I love his unique style. I like the Japanese style a little bit better. It's a little bit more polished for me, right? And I like his punching power and his selection, the way he's doing it. I love Terrence Crawford. He's fighting big guys. He's taking big shots. Okay. And he's really, really, really accurate with his punches. Terrence Crawford doesn't have a lot of wasted punches. When he throws a punch, it's gonna land. That's what's impressive. Not only he's probably the only fighter that I've ever seen yo, in my life that can switch from lefty to righty so fucking fluently. Like he looks like a natural left-handed fighter once he chooses to. He doesn't have any awkward movement from the left stand. That's incredible. Okay, I'm not sure the Japanese dude can ever do that. I've never seen him do it, in fact, but I've never seen him have to. That's kind of like Michael Jordan. They said you can't shoot the three, and he fucking shot the lights out of the Blazers, and he was like this, the famous like this when he's coming down the court. He goes, "I can shoot the three, I just never had to." So if you've never put him in those kind of situations, we just don't know yet. You see, but as far as skill, I have to admit that this Japanese guy really won me over. At first, I didn't want to believe it. I didn't want to believe that he was him. I just thought that he wasn't fighting the right level of competition. With each fighter, one by one, he decimated them all. When he came against Emmanuel Rodriguez, I know Emmanuel Rodriguez is a dog. I know he's a Puerto Rican fighter, and he was an undefeated fighter coming into that fight, 19-0. Never tasted. He's never been down in his career. Never tasted a knockout, a knockdown, nothing. Coming into that Naoya Inoue fight, I knew that he was a live dog. In fact, I had the Puerto Rican in that fight. Boy, when I saw what he did to him, I was done. I was like, that's the real deal right there. You can't fake that. The way he moved effortlessly under Rodriguez's punches and he outsmarted him with a shot so close on the inside. Rodriguez is a skilled boxer. He never got caught with something like that. He didn't even know that you can be in that position, that close on the inside, and dare to throw a punch. Usually, typically, boxers that close are already they're shelling up. This Japanese dude was dropping bombs in that close. It was crazy. And his understanding about boxing is really high. There has to be something really sinister going on in the back of the mind of this kind of fighter to do what he does. He's constantly smiling, not talking shit, not like American fighters where they have to go on TV and do all these antics and ploys to sell a fight. I've always said this. The Japanese superstar doesn't speak English and you've never heard him say a word, but I guarantee you want to see him fight. I guarantee it. He's explosive. He's everything you would want a fighter to be and then some. He doesn't get in trouble outside of boxing. He's not on TV smacking his wife, cheating on his wife, drinking liquor, doing drugs, crashing cars. None of that shit. He is the epitome of boxing. And when you want to call a fighter the face of boxing, you should watch what you say sometimes because the face of boxing has to be in and out of the ring. You can't be considered the face of boxing, getting in a car accident, smashing a car with a pregnant woman inside of the car, running outside of the car, the following month getting arrested for domestic violence, the month after that, getting placed on house arrest, but you're the face of boxing? What kind of message are you sending the kids that are watching you? I would prefer the face of boxing to be the person in boxing that is doing the right thing in and out, that shows the right message, and also is an elite fighter. Don't forget that part. He checks out all the boxes. He makes me feel like I can get behind him and I'm not going to watch a horror story. Like, you know, the ones where you see the rise and fall of your favorite fighter. It'll be all over some fucking Dateline, ES, 60 Minute, whatever. You know what I mean? The rise and fall of your favorite fighter. We watch it all the time. And he makes me feel like he's going to do it the right way. If I ever had to fantasize about the perfect fighter, a fighter that fought the way I wanted him to, won the fights that I wanted him to win, and act the way I wanted him to act, and to see just his skill take him as far as his skills can take him, man, for the first time, I'm like, I'm curious. I want to see this shit unfold. You know? Like, Terrence Crawford, our American fighter, had it not been for the lot of the roadblocks and promotional stalemates and everything, how much more better of a champion could Terrence have been, man? If they didn't fucking step in his way, man. If he didn't have to fucking fight for every inch he got in boxing, bro. All the people that ducked that man. And he still became a two division all for it, man. You got to commend Terrence Crawford, bro. His persistent on his goal, bro. 6 years chasing Arrow. He could have left. Look how long David Benavidez has been chasing Canelo. He finally said, man, fuck you, man. I'm leaving. I'm moving up. Yo, Terrence stood the course and he sacrificed so much. He could be an even more division world champion had he not had to sit around and try to do this just to prove he was him. This entire time, Terrence Crawford is him. That's our best American fighter, and Japan has theirs. Luis Pantera Nares is going into Japan trying to play spoiler. We've all talked about this. We know the situation, but for those that are just tuning in and want to find out what's going on, Luis Nares went to Japan and I'm talking about beat up Japan's superstar at the time. He was revered as one of Japan's, best champions and current champions at that time. Luis Pantera Nares went over there and he punished that man. Yeah, he did. I watched that fight, man, a couple times, and he punished him. Luis is lunging. He couldn't catch his timing. He obviously hits hard. The Japanese fighter was stunned. A lot of the accumulation of those shots weighed on him. It started to slow him down, and then Luis was just catching him at will. And it was just too late. The Japanese guy didn't have enough pop to back Luis off of him. Luis walked away with his belt, later tested positive on the PEs. Then he was stripped of the belt. They ran it back, I think, a year later. Luis had a fight in between, then went back to Japan. This time he didn't make weight. He didn't qualify to win the belt, but he knocks the Japanese fighter out in the second round, okay? Which was big, okay? So now he's going to run it back with the new Japanese superstar. And unlike any other fighter, not only is he the Japanese superstar, but he's arguably one of the greatest boxers of our time. He's probably he's better than 99% of the rest of the fighters in the world. The only fighter, arguably, which has put in just amount that kind of work is Terrence Crawford. They gave Terrence Crawford the pound for pound, and they gave Naoya Inoue Fighter of the Year. Okay, Naoya Inoue soon he's gonna put that crown on for pound, but you could view it both ways. You could view both ways, and what you like about the sweet science, there is no Superman. There is no perfect fighter in the world. There is none. Okay. And some people will argue with you that Terrence Crawford are fighting the bigger man. That's a lie. That's a big misconception in the sport of boxing when fight fans try to argue that. And I'll prove it to you right now because just listen to what you're saying. Just for one, look, how is Terrence Crawford fighting bigger guys? If he's fighting the guys in his weight division, that means Terrence Crawford is the same size as them. He has the ability to gain whatever weight they gain, and they got the ability to gain it vice versa. It's not like he's unmatched. You see? He can't be fighting bigger guys. He's in that weight division. Naoya Inoue fights the guys his size. So there isn't no disadvantage when you're saying Terrence Crawford fights bigger guys. What are you talking about? He's that big. How is he fighting bigger guys? He's fighting guys in his weight division. That's where he is. It's not like he's at 147, he's fighting a guy 180. Now he would be fighting a bigger guy. You see? So just like Naoya Inoue's in his own weight division, what do you think? There's guys not there that are heavier than him? What do you think? He doesn't go on fight night and his own opponent is 20 pounds heavier than him? Of course that happens to him. He's fighting also bigger guys. When he went into the fight against Jamie McDonald, that dude came in 20 pounds heavier than him on fight night. The same thing that's happening to Terrence Crawford, to all these other guys, is happening to him. Yeah, you cannot say he's fighting bigger guys. It doesn't work. You see? If they're right? So respectfully, they're fighting who they have to fight in their own divisions. They're fighting the size guys in their weight division. Just like when you sign up to fight Devin Haney and he comes in 25 pounds heavier than you on fight night. Regis Progress with the same weight as him when they weighed on the scale. He has the opportunity to do the same thing. He wasn't bigger or smaller than him. He's fighting guys in that, see what I'm saying? So, but yeah, he's a remarkable talent. May 6th, he will be fighting in the Tokyo Arena. Same arena where Mike Tyson was defeated against the famous fight against Buster Douglas. There haven't been a boxing match in that arena since that fight. They are now putting this fight there because of the magnitude and how big it is. In fact, Naoya Inoue has all 4 belts at 122 pounds. Luis Pantera Nares coming into this fight. I don't think they gave him credit for that world title. I know his record's 35 fights, 27 by knockout, and 1 loss. He's 29 years old. He's 5'5". He has a 76-inch arm reach. But did they give him credit for that title? I don't think you get credit when you get caught for the PE. They strip you, right? So they kind of so how many belts has he ever won? I got to look that up. I have to. Oh, okay. He had a shot. No, he did have the 122-pound championship, the WB Super Bantamweight. He fought for it. He won the fight in a 12-round decision, and then he lost that belt to Brandon Figueroa, where Brandon Figueroa came into that fight with the WBA World Super Bantamweight champion, and he beat him. So he does have credit for that belt. The Silver Bantam, that's not a belt. Silver Bantam, that's not a belt. WBC World Bantam, that is a belt. That's the belt he won off of the guy. Technically they got him here awarded for the belt, but I don't think that it was a vacant belt. Luis Naris, it says it right on the bottom. Luis Naris, Nari failed to make weight. Title only can, yeah, go to the Japanese dude. And then it doesn't say anything about him being stripped in the other one, but we all know he was stripped. So he has no more world titles from what I see. Nah, he has no more world titles. All right, so that I just wanted to check that out. To see and put it in its perspective of how many world titles fights has Luis Nari have, to see, to see if the night will be too big for him. Has he ever been in these kind of big fights? You know, um, when you're looking into the fighter like Naoya Inoue, for God's sake, uh, what is this? I believe this is his 23rd consecutive world title fight. He's used to this shit. Okay. Um, just in case you're not familiar with him, his record is 26 fights, 23 big ways by knockout. He is undefeated. He's never been knocked down or knocked out in his professional career. In fact, out of the 26 fights he currently has, statistic wise, he's lost a handful of rounds in his entire career. There's not many fights where, in fact, he even lost a round in his fights. It would be hard to find more than 15, 20 rounds he's ever lost in his entire career. And that's saying a lot. When on average, the typical fighter will lose 4 or 5 rounds. If you go 12-round fight, you're gonna lose a few rounds in your career. You know, um, there's not many fights he's even lost a round. He's a really impressive champion. His run is really remarkable. He started his career at 19 with only 6 professional fights. He became world champion. It took Terrence Crawford 6 years to get a shot at his first crack, just to put it in his perspective. By 8 fights, typically a fighter from over there will make a title fight around 20, 30 fights as a professional. Then they'll shoot for a title fight. He was already on his second weight division and only 8 professional fights. He didn't use no tune-up fights. Every time he moved up to a new weight division, he fought the existing champion right away. No warm up, nothing. He used the champions as warm ups. He successfully unified all 4 belts at 118, and he did it the most historical way a champion can do it. Meaning, he didn't fight a guy that had 3 belts. He didn't fight a guy that had 2 belts. No, he went after each champion one at a time. And he did that and unified all 4 of those belts within a year, to be honest. What set him back a little further, like 2 years in that, was the corona epidemic. Had it not been for the corona epidemic, those 2 wasted years, he would have secured faster. And in fact, the second time he did it, he proved it to us. If you didn't stand in his way and you allowed his skills to take him as further, just let him do it. Let's see if he could do them. Just stop him. That's what the world was saying. Well, then if you can stop him, give me somebody that'll whoop his ass. Just show us. It took him 6 months to unify all 4 belts. From the moment he obtained the first 2. 6 months later, he had all 4 of them. From the moment he got the first 2. Not even a calendar year. That's some fucking remarkable shit right there, bro. That's video game shit there. 6 months, bro? Are you crazy? It will take a person almost a lifetime to try to get that. He did it in 6 months the second time. And now what he's looking to do is solidify himself as a champion that successfully defended all 4 belts. Because at 118, he vacated all his belts within 30 days of securing them. And he moves on, right? That's what kind of champion he is. That speaks volumes. When a man vacates 4 belts, just look at Devin Haney. Look at all these other guys. Devin Haney did not relinquish those belts until the night of fighting Regis Progress. Just in case he loses, he still has the champions at 130, the belts at 135. That doesn't sound like a confident champion to me. This guy right here, bro, there was no ifs, ands, buts about it. Yo, Naoya Inoue, you don't have to vacate these belts. I don't want them. Why? I'm never going to fight here again. I'm going up to 122 and I'm going to become champion. Naoya, you can take a tune-up fight. No. Who do you want to fight? Who is the best 122 pounder you have right now? The best? Oh, that's Stephen Kubo Fulton. I'll take him. Now, yeah, anyway, you do realize you don't have to do this. You can fight a tomato can. Top Rank will back you. We'll make you his. You don't want a tomato can? You don't want us to back you? You want to do this on the up and up? Who says that? What kind of fighter are you? You mean you really want to fight the best guys? You want to go after Stephen Kubo Fulton? Little Japanese man. Okay, that's what you want. Get out of here, bro. And you know what? Give me the next champion. Bro, he was on some shit. It was like he didn't have to do these moves. Real champion. Real fucking champion. Bro, he's doing some of the best champion moves I've ever seen in boxing. When all these other guys are bullshitting, oh, he's ducking. He doesn't want to fight me. This is miraculously, he's making it happen. And you know how he's making it happen? He's on some Tom Brady, Michael Jordan shit. He's on that shit where he's even paying the guy, right, more money than himself. Why? He don't care about the money. He like, yo, give him whatever he wants. He has a belt. Tell him to bring the belt with him, right? He doesn't care. Those are special kind of men in my life. I've, to be perfectly honest with you, I've met 2 people in my life like that, ever in my entire life, that I can honestly say I didn't know what their price was. And I mean by this was there was nothing I can entice him with. There was nothing I had or I can get he wanted. I couldn't buy him. They're the type of men that, like them Viking guys when they were raiding the castles and they were like on a mission. They the king would come and try to entice. I pay your weight in gold, diamonds and rubies. Bring me the rubies, bring me the diamonds. And set it right there. Cut the king's head off. Throw the king's head and them diamonds and rubies out with the pigs. Let them eat it and keep it pushing. Not take one diamond, ruby, or piece of gold. That's not what he's interested in. Money or lore. If he wants that, he'll get it. He got his eye on a different prize, and it was world conquest to be the fucking greatest ever, man. And that is something that some men, you can't buy, you can't put something in front of them. Hey, fight this guy over here. He doesn't see none of that. No. Does he have a belt? Does he have what? Then tell him to bring his ass over here. And he's on some shit like that. And when I look back at fighters like that, that impresses me. Because when in an age, in an era where all these men these guys are superstars, banging their chest, claiming to be the best, but it doesn't seem that way. Devin Haney never fought Tank Davis. Tank Davis never fought Devin Haney. He never fought Loma. T.O. never fought none of them dudes. What the fuck happened? Where's the best fighting the best? And they, when asked and questioned, hey, what do you feel the Japanese superstar? All those top guys, oh, you know what they try to do? Oh, he's good, but yeah, he's not better than me. Really, he's not better than you? Then why haven't you achieved half of what he's achieved? in your own weight division. He's taking care of business where he belongs, in his weight division, where it counts. He can't clean out your weight division because he's not there. So if you're so much better than him, where are your belts? I'll wait. If you're on his level, he's beating all the top guys. He's smashing everyone. But yet you can sit there in that with that mouth of yours and say, one, you're better. Two, you're not impressed. Three, you can do that. Like it's all bullshit. You're at the end of the day, you are only judged by what you did in your sport. Shit talking, you're not awarded credit for shit talking or making up situations you should have did. Unfortunately, they don't accept broken dreams in the Hall of Fame. They don't have a section for that. For I should have done this or I could have did this. There's not an aisle where they have that. What if? But no, but I do know what they do accept, and that's world titles in the Hall of Fame. And when it's all said and done, if he fought 23 consecutive world title fights, they got a lot of paperwork to do. And they're going to have to recognize him for what he truly is. When he retires, God willing, he retires great. My biggest fear is that some of these fighters don't know when to call it quits. And you see that OG fighter in the ring way past his prime, whether it be for financial or just because he loved it or he can't walk away. You got to understand that at the end of these men's career, they're fighting themselves. They're left with fighting themselves. They truly are. He's like a soldier that's been trained to go out into the war, rigorously prepare himself, shot after shot, day after day, training day in and day out, and then you get a letter, son, the war is over. Go home. You're just a soldier trained up with all this training and to do nothing. And you can't stay still. That's what a boxer is. He's a boxer that's been trained to fight this entire time, and now you want him to stop. It's not that easy. He's sitting at home fighting himself. I can still fight. I still got it in me. You know what I mean? You see it all the time, right? So it depends how he retires. But if he can retire well, retire the type of fighter that, and on the pace that he's on right now, they will have to give him GOAT status. They will have to award him GOAT status at the end when it's all said and done. Because I've talked about this with you guys. You cannot be called the GOAT while active in boxing. You have to wait until you're retired and they tally up everything you did. And if your career merits that kind of conversation, they're going to look you over. And once they take a look at his record, there's not going to be they're not going to have an argument why they shouldn't give it to him. That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to look for ways why they should not give it to him because his record is going to be so impressive, so much better than all these guys. And I'm not taking away from nothing from all of these guys because I'm going to tell you right now, had it not been for men like this, he doesn't become who he is. The pioneers, the men and women that made this sport prestigious, these are those kind of men. And these are the kind of men that kept your eyes in tune and kept the sport alive. So you can never shit on them. And I will never bash one legend with another because I pay homage to all my legends because those are the men and women that elevated this sport to what it is today, that gave men and women such as Naoya Inoue the ability to be the man that he is today. And because of that, I commend them just like I respect him. And at the end of the day, they're going to have to give it to him. What's up? No tomato cans here. Yeah, I forgot to pull out. What's up, brother? All right, what's up? A lot of names. That Japanese dude is gonna tear down a lot of names, just like Tom Brady did to all those Super Bowl guys. And every time when he got like three, Joe Montana was up in the booth like this with the four, and then he surpassed them. Joe Montana always liked walking in the room, being called the GOAT, the greatest quarterback ever. Floyd Mayweather loves the fact that he knows when he walks into the room, whether you love or hate him, he's arguably the best boxer we've ever seen. Okay? And you can say whatever you want, right? But he knows that. He knows he was the face of boxing in his era. It doesn't matter Ali's era. I'm not saying that. I'm saying in his time. So, and he was doing big things. Come on, man. He's the highest paid boxer ever in the history of the game. What else could you say, right? But everything's not money. I understand that, but it's also good, right? So, these kind of guys right here, man, they're different. They're different. You see, Mayweather played the game a lot different. I got to commend Mayweather for adopting the personality and the persona, but not buying into it. I got to commend Mayweather for doing that tightrope act, having all those women, all those people around you, even your wife doing drugs. Mayweather's wife was addicted to cocaine, if you didn't know that, the mother of his kids that passed away, God rest her soul. He was around all these kind of people, his fathers, his uncles, they all got high. And then you can imagine the parties that he was around, never tempted. He always had his eye on the prize. You couldn't buy him. You couldn't give him that box of jewelry. And no, Mayweather was the type of man that if you try to impress him, he would look at you and say, eventually I'm going to get that regardless. Without you selling my soul to you and you giving it to me early, I'm going to get that regardless. So I'll pass on your offer because I know I'm going to get that and much more. That's what Mayweather was on. And he was right. He was right. He paid out of Bob Arum, got out of Top Rank. Was he not right? He saw something that no one else saw. You couldn't buy him. Yo, and his arrogance, the way he's flamboyant, yo, he played right into the people. And the people ate that shit up and they fucking either loved or hated him. They just wanted someone to shut him up. But the one thing where his heart was he was a pure boxer, a pure fighter. And he was really dedicated and focused at a level I've never seen. His antics might have shown otherwise, but I can honestly tell you from every man I've ever spoke with about that man, they all say the same thing. When it came to the sport of boxing, he was a fucking genius. And that was it. And that's all that mattered. He paved the way for fighters like this to become these kind of fighters. Had he not set that kind of bar of being that kind of champion, it doesn't make this little boy look up and say, I want to be a better champion. Mayweather set those kind of bars. I'm going to break them. Go get them, kid. Go get them. Show us. Show us. I want to see it. I want to see it. And I congratulate fighters like that. Those are real fighters. Men that when they really say, yo, I want to fight the best, bro, they fighting the best. And it's no tune-up tomato can in between. No superstar status fight. He's not fighting no Ryan Garcias for no belts. No. It's nothing but world championship quality fights, and all the fights have to mean something. In fact, in a statement that he made to a reporter going into the Marlon Tapales fight, one of the reporters wanted to know, and he asked the Japanese superstar. He was like, "Yo, bro, why don't you take a tune-up fight?" All these champions like this, eventually you're going to run into somebody. Like, why don't you take a lower fight? And the Japanese rebuttal was, I need maximum motivation to know that the fight means something. He says, I don't have the mental strength to fight a fight that's not for nothing, that doesn't mean anything. He said, I don't got the mental strength to fight a bullshit ass fight, basically. That's what he said. He said, I don't got it in me to fight for nothing. I gotta know that every time I go out there, someone is gonna fight me. And it means something. He's not saying to the world, bro, I want to fight the lowest champion, the middle champion. No, he wants to fight all the champions. There's only four of them. They should be with four belts, right? Or it could be one guy. He has three. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't care who's in his way. Listen, and I would like to see where he ends up. I would like to see how far his skills take him. And I would like to see a fighter finally not get set up, brought to jail, charges of rape, getting pulled in because you didn't join your army. You know, I would like to see a no nonsense career unfold in front of me with nothing, no like injuries and shit. He had a pretty decent, good, healthy career. All fighters get injuries. I'm pretty sure Naoya Inoue went into all of his fight with some kind of injury because no one goes into fight 100% on fight night. No one. I don't know too many fighters that ever make it there like that. Okay, there's always something happening. Okay, but as far as roadblocks and having careers, like the only roadblock this Japanese dude actually had was the corona epidemic. That's it. And that's beautiful. He doesn't take any times off. His motto is he doesn't stop training because his competition doesn't stop training. As long as his competition is constantly pushing himself in the gym, he feels like there's room to improve. And even though he's already secured and he's a multimillionaire, he's already secured all four belts in two separate weight divisions. You would think that it was time to visit Disney World or maybe take my family on vacation, take a year off, hang out with the homies. He doesn't have any friends. He only has his family. He doesn't like a lot of bling bling flashy things. He already has a car. He has a nice house. He doesn't need anything else. He doesn't want to talk about anything else. All he wants is them belts. In fact, after winning his title, securing two titles against Stephen Kubo Fulton, on that night, he looked into Marlon Tapales' eyes and said, I'll fight you in December. Shit, that's 6 months away from that time. No time off. Yo, man. And I can't talk about him enough because I've actually never witnessed this on both sides for a fighter. It's usually that the fighter's real good in the ring, then he has a whole bunch of bullshit going on outside of the ring, or he's really good outside of the ring. He's just not that dominant fighter in the ring. It's rare when I get a combination of a guy that is that good and that can keep it all together. He doesn't allow himself to be cocky and arrogant. Like Tom Brady. All he did was win, win, win. Oh, shucks, thank you. Another ring. Never talk shit about. He didn't need to. And in an era where guys are awarded for, they just, come out and say it. Tell them you're the man, you're the best. Those kind of guys, they didn't need to be patted on the back. They knew who they were. And that's a difference between knowing who you are and you need to be told and reminded who you are. There's a difference. Look, he's definitely going to come to America and fight. He's already fought in America. He's already fought in America 3 times. So all these things that people are saying, oh, he needs to come to America. He's already been here. Already fought in Madison Square Garden. He already fought in the Barclays Center in New York City. I believe Madison Square Garden is in New York, right? How much more America do you want him to get? And then he fought in some other little town there, and I forget where it was. It wasn't in New York though. It was in some other little like I forget where it was. And then he fought in the UK over there, and the British. He fought over there against Jamie McDonald. When he fought for that belt, he went over there. So he's not scared to travel. He's not scared to go enemy's territory. But the smart thing to do, if you're selling out arenas in your home, but you're not well known in another country, why would you leave Japan to go out to United States when you're not really known in United States, but you're selling out soccer arenas in Japan? Why would you leave? To make way less money just to get your name out there? Or how about this? Here's another idea. Why don't you knock everybody out, make yourself a big thing so when you come to America, you're that much bigger? And then everybody else that just copy, paste, and print, Mayweather goes, he should fight in America. Then everybody goes, oh, yeah, he doesn't fight in America. Blah, blah. Bro, you just heard that guy said it, didn't do any homework. You don't know what you're talking about, right? Those kind of people, right? And you're looking at him like, no, he's already fought in America. And why would he leave Japan? Right? Right? But now that he's building his name, I agree. Now he's in the position where enough people know who he is. He's built his monster, you know, image, and I think he'll sell. And I think a lot of people want to see him. And when they do see him, the right people, they're gonna pay to come out to see him. And that's when he's really gonna blow up, you know. And Javante Davis is looking so good. In fact, if he stays around, man, wishful thinking, wishful thinking. I don't know if it'll ever happen, but that would be a mega fight between Javante Tank Davis and this guy. Oh my God. Let's come on, Naoya. Come on, gain some weight. Eat a cheeseburger, my man. That would be an electrifying fight. So, I would love that. So, but yeah, uh, there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of big fights, but I don't really see anybody at 126 that is going to, for me anyway. Let's see what happens. I don't want to talk too fast because he still has the Mexican in front of him, Luis Pantera Naris, and I respect him. I respect him. I know he's going out to Japan. He's being paid well for this beating that he's about to take because he's definitely going to get his ass whooped. Bro, it's going to be a massacre. I'm just waiting to see how he does it. How he does it. I got Naoya Inoue in this fight. Unfortunately, I like Luis Pantera Nares. I like him. He's a decent fighter. He's such a decent fighter that he only has one loss. No one else has ever beat him. So he might look, a little unorthodox. He might have this wild little style. But for everyone else, it was effective. It was effective. I'm not sure it's going to be really effective against this kind of fighter. I think Naoya Inoue has the skills to make him look really bad. In fact, he has the skill. He's going to make Luis Nares look like an amateur. He has the skills to make. He made elite fighters in their own right in his look bad. Look really bad. My man Chang, listen. My man, how you doing? You know how we do here around World Sports Talk. Jane, you are the best. Nery upsets coming in overweight, peas. Yo, you ain't right, Jane. Jane, you ain't right for that one. But I'm going to let it in because I liked it. Yo, Wow, low blow. Chang, go back to your corner. I'm taking a point. 1 point off of Chang. 1 point. Low blow. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Someone has to say it, right? Look, um, for the money that they're paying him, he's not coming in dirty. That would affect his purse and his a lot of his money, and the right to also compete for all four belts. Coming in dirty on this fight, you would be a fucking idiot. Bro, I would really beat the shit out of him and kick him out of boxing. Right? Right? Because you would have to be a fuck up to do some shit like that and get caught. They're probably doing it anyway, but just don't get fucking bagged right now, dude. Like, really, like, take this ass whooping like a man. I want him to show up. I want to get this out of the way as much as I want to see the fight. It's one of those fights for me where yeah, I want to see Naoya Inoue fight again, but this is not the fight I want to see. This is not the fight I want to see from him. I want him to show the world exactly what I know he can do. And I want him to fight more of the top guys in the US to shut these people up. And the reason why I want him to shut these people up, you know why? Because I'm sick and tired of these guys not giving the right fighters the right credit. And we've talked about this. A lot of the guys, Bam Bam Boogie said it in the chat. A few guys, Funline, fucking All Right. All you guys have said it. That sometimes you feel like the wrong guy is getting all the praises or the bag. And the guy that's deserving of it is not getting his credit. You see? So that's why I want, Naoya Inoue to get his credit for the fighter that he truly is. And enough is enough with this favoritism shit. If you're from America or brother or someone they like, some hot Mexican with red hair, that's favoritism, bro. No, he's the fucking best because of his skill. And it's the truth. And I'm tired of this fucking paparazzi mediocrity bullshit. And the guys that are working hard and not getting the recognition and their credit, you can't stop him. You guys let him go too far already. And he took too much. And now he really opened the door. And now that he made himself that kind of champion where he's able to call his shots, they fucked up. And I like it. I don't think they really thought that this 5'5", 108-pound Japanese guy was going to do all this. They thought the same thing they thought of every Japanese fighter. Oh, yeah, they're doing good. They're doing good. Put him against this guy. His run is over with. Right? When they put that hot Japanese guy in against Loma and Loma rocked him. Yeah. Takona, what was his name? And Lomachenko destroyed him. Yeah. And the Japanese fighters, Chinese fighters seem to only get so far because of their size and their ability and what they had 20 years ago for coaching as of boxing. They might have been advanced in mixed martial arts, but in the American game, the sweet science boxing, they weren't up with us. There's nobody that's really up with America. We're probably the richest, you know. Um, well, we were the richest coming into the 20th century. I think time's changing. I think the playing field is starting to get even a little, not completely even. It's starting to get there. It's starting to get there with fighters like Demetrius Bivol, Arthur Benavidez. They're coming up into their mega showdown. Arthur Benavidez is rocking 100% knockout ratio, in the cruiserweight division. So it's a 205. That's good. That's impressive right there. And like I said, those guys are not American fighters, so, and it's showing. It's showing. So, yes, I support the fact that they should give him his credit and they should acknowledge what this young man is doing. Naoya Inoue is just a little guy, have to do double the amount of work for everyone to take notice of him. You know, yeah, you know, and I'll be the one to dare to say it. If Naoya Inoue was a black American fighter, do you know how popular he would be right now with those kind of accolades, with those kind of achievements, and how he's knocking people out? Do you know how much of a celebrity he would be? Tank Davis has done way less, and look how popular he is with the knockouts he's doing. Devin Haney hasn't come close to this Japanese star. He got 4 belts and one. He's probably the closest. Yeah, I would say. Terrence Crawford is the man. He would beat Terrence Crawford without no bullshit, I think. Imagine that. Would they call him a hype job then? If Naoya Inoue was black, would they call him a hype job? Would they say he's overrated? Would they? I don't think so. I don't think so. And sometimes it's a shame that they judge fighters like that. I don't see any race or colors when I watch boxing. All I see is skills, fighting. And if you can fight, you can fight. I don't care how tall, short, fat, skinny, green, blue. I don't care what you are. If you're a great fighter, you're a great fighter, and I will respect your fight game. If you can't fight for shit, I'm gonna say you can't fight for shit, bro. That's what it is with me. That's what it is. I learned in a young age that talk is cheap. I always learned that the guy with the biggest mouth is not the best fighter, and I always learned to like you know conquer my fears. If I'm scared of you or you make me nervous in any way, I'm gonna blast off on you the best combination I possibly can. Because if you're gonna whoop my ass, I want you to hold something for me. You okay? Whoop my ass, but take this with you, and that's my mindset. And usually when I unleash that, I didn't lose, but that was just my mindset. And when you have fighters like this, man, it's unfortunate that sometimes if you don't have that it factor, or you don't have that celebrity status, or you don't have a big promotional company, that your skills can be overlooked by people avoiding to fight you, and then putting you to the back of the line and trying to say that your fight style is boring and that you're not a good fighter. I don't know who in their right fucking mind would ever call Terrence Crawford a boring fighter, but believe me or not, they have. Yes, they have. Even promotional big top guys that have big voices in boxing and know exactly what the fuck they're saying will try to allure you to the fact that Devin Haney doesn't sell, that Tank Davis doesn't sell, that Terrence Crawford doesn't sell, and that's bullshit. Tank Davis sells so much that they can't say that about him. But they try to sneak that in on Terrence Crawford. They try to sneak that in on Devin Haney. Why? The obvious reason. If you call them boring and you say you're not interested, that you're making an scapegoat out. You're not. We didn't ask you if the fighter was boring. We didn't ask you if the fighter sold tickets. We asked you if you would fight him. And you came back to us with the fact that he's boring? What kind of answer is that? We didn't ask you if he was boring. We don't care. How about this? If he's so boring, why do we want him to fight you? If he was so boring. If we're telling you we would like to see X, Y, and Z fight your guy, and your rebuttal is, you know what? He's boring. He doesn't sell a lot of tickets. Motherfucker, we didn't ask you that. Are you going to fight him? Yes or no? And when they start saying shit like that, that's when my spider senses start going off. Wait a minute. Why are you making excuses? Who the fuck asked you that? And why are you telling us that? We didn't know. You see? You see? And I got to admit, I can't remember the last time I saw a boring Terrence Crawford fight. And to be honest with you, I can't, I can't recall last Devin Haney boring fight. His last fight was Regis Progress. That was pretty an exciting beating to watch. The one before that was Vasil Lomachenko. Where's Devin Haney's boring fights at? You mean the tomato cans he was fighting at the beginning of his career that he was taking care of? That every fighter in their career got to pass that point in their career? So you're judging him for what every other fighter did. But yet, he's the boring one. Really? Everybody else did the same thing. You know? So I was just like, even this guy, Naoya Inoue, the first six fighters or whatever fought, they weren't the greatest. He knocked out that Thai nationalist guy, the little short guy with the check hook, but he finished him off. But that guy he's a fucking cab driver. You know what I mean? And all fighters got to do that. But yet, they're going to look for something to avoid from fighting that boring fighter. It just so happens that boring fighter happens to be the world champion too. In fact, they failed to mention that. Yeah. All of a sudden, Ortiz Jr. says that Terrence Crawford's boring. It's crazy. Fucking crazy. Yeah. So, look, for me, when I see a guy that is not accusing another fighter, he's not calling another fighter boring, he's not, looking to discredit another fighter. The only thing he's doing is wanting to fight the champion. That's Naoya Inoue. He doesn't care what you do. Long as you have what he wants, he's coming after you. And on May 6th, if anybody can alert the nearby hospitals for Luis Paternales to make sure that they would be on the scene, because there might be a possibility that they might have to perform CPR on the man, all right? Because I'm gonna tell you one thing right now. Um, this is gonna be a great fight, but unfortunately, the Japanese superstar is gonna outclass him, outbox him, and put him away. And I will, you know, right after this fight, I'm curious. I want to see what his decision is and where he's going to go and what his vision is for the sport of boxing. I would love to see this. And we'll by that time we would have already saw Saul Canelo Alvarez against Jaime Munguia. So that's going to be a good fight too, depending how Jaime Munguia does. I believe Saul has enough to beat him, but you can never count Jaime Munguia out. Anything can happen in boxing. Jaime Munguia is explosive. He makes a lot of mistakes, but I mean, Saul's getting up there, and if Jaime can put it together, for me, that's a 70-30 fight. Saul Canelo Alvarez's way. Maybe leading closer up into the fight, I might make it 60-40, but it's never going to be a 50-50 fight. Not with the experience that Saul Canelo Alvarez has on the young boy, Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia did fight Ryder better. Well, yeah, I'm in agreement with you on that, right? But I don't think he can go into his bag of tricks like Saul Canelo Alvarez can. And we will be seeing that fight. And mind you, on May 18th, we still have Tyson Fury and Usyk out in the desert, and they're going to be fighting for unification for all those belts, as well as Jack Catterall and Josh Taylor. We're also going to be getting that fight as well, which is a big fight to pay attention to because we talked about it and what that's going to do throughout the division at 140 pounds, which a lot of the guys that are scheduled in the 140 pounds, at least most of the top guys, have already fought within the year and are fighting in the year, which is going to give us a better look on where fighters such as Sobriel Matias, Isa Pitbull Cruz, Teofimo Lopez, and the people that are in 140, because 140 right now is the hottest division in all of boxing. The only thing that can make the 154-pound weight division even better than it is, if Terrence Crawford actually makes that decision to go that way, I'm not even willing to report what I heard today about him, because everything has changed so much with all the names they have thrown out for Terrence Crawford in just the last 10 days alone, that I'm just going to sit back and wait, because I heard some shit, but I don't want to report it. I don't. I don't, because I think that's going to change, you know? And they're actually saying they sent the contract on this one. Still not going to report it. Nope. How many opponents has Terrence Crawford had in the last 10 days? It started with Sebastian Fundora fight with Tim Tszyu, right? It was supposed to be Tim Tszyu, right? Then it went to Sebastian Fundora. Then it went to the newly acquired WBA champion. Then it went back to Jerron Boots Ennis. Then it went back to Tim Tszyu. Then it went to who is the other guy? Listen, they have attached that man. Oh, even Ryan Garcia attached his name to him, right? Like, come on, guys, come on. So I'm just gonna wait, hold off on that one. I'll get back to you guys, and I'll let you know some more. Luis has not just in what? Nery has not just in hell. He hasn't have a chance in hell. That's what you're trying to say. 2005 is going to be a beautiful year. I've talked about this, and I believe the Naoya Inoue kid has the potential of unifying all four belts at 126. The problem is that I don't think that his skills is what's in question here. It's whether or not the other champions are willing to fight him and that would sign up. Now, we talked about this. Not every champion is willing just to sign up and on the dotted line and fight a champion such as Naoya Inoue. They have a chance of no longer being champion on that night. You know, they like entering the room, playing out their lifestyle as a champion. You see? But money can entice you to take risk. And that's what I'm hoping that this causes, that the Japanese superstar takes makes an offer to these other champions that they can't refuse. You understand? So, you know, I look, man, I'm gonna come out and say it. The PBC get them their hands on that belt. They're not gonna give the Japanese superstar a shot at that belt. You think that all these people are excited that this Japanese dude is doing this? You think all these boxing legends are like, yeah, now, yeah, let's see if you can do it. No, they're not. They're like fucking crawling out of their skin saying, somebody fucking stop him. Please stop him. Stop his record. Somebody beat him. Don't give him a shot at another title. He's not an American fighter. Come on, guys. No, these people are not lining up to help this guy. He is truly doing this on his own. And the reason why he got as many opportunities as he got, he has the best disguise in all of boxing. I talk about this all the time. They show the guy the picture. This is your opponent. Huh? Hell yeah, I'll fight him. And then they get rocked, destroyed, and they find out the hard way. And then each guy is a little embarrassed, so he wasn't telling everybody. He was still coming out. Yeah, he's pretty good, but it was me that night, right? They're a little embarrassed. They weren't saying the truth. And each victim was being let out there, and he was destroying them all until they started talking and saying, nah, bro, this dude is the truth. He's as fast as they say he is. He hits as hard as they say he does. You know, he has the skills. And now the cat is out of the bag. And too many people know who he is. And not a lot of people. Now I believe, honestly, this is where he's going to get to the point in his career where it's going to be the hardest to secure his fights, unfortunately. Yeah. They're not going to line up like they were just lining up for him when he was making his way up through the divisions. And everybody thought that they were going to be the ones to stop him. You see, now they know that he's the real deal. On top of the kind of champion he is, they're going to be more reluctant to wanting to fight him because it's a lose lose for them. You know, they might make a lot of money, but they will no longer be champion after that fight. Not everybody in the world wants to sign up to get knocked out in front of their loved ones and their families, become memes. Not everybody's going to want to do that. So a lot of champions will play keep away. You're going to see Naoya Inoue be frustrated, him and his team. And you might see him get like one belt and then make like title defenses on that belt. And if you ever see him make a title defense on that belt, it's because none of the other champions want to fight him. My name is Edwin. I had an amazing time here at Round One Sports Talk. You guys been the best. Um, Thank you for tuning in. I love all your comments. I always go back and I check them out and I them again. Look, Brian Garcia and Devin Haney, they're coming into this fight this Saturday. I will be tuning in live chat. Who knows? Maybe I'll have some guys, you guys call. I don't know. We'll see what goes on. I'm trying to do all this phone thing. As you can see, I had to mess with everything again. But look, please give the video a like for me on your way out. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to be notified of when I drop a video, just click that bell icon and it'll let you know when I'm dropping a new video. Fight fans, stay safe out there. I love all of you guys. Um, Ping, I don't see any way how very to beat Naoya Inoue if 2 years, 3 years ago can say yes, but today, no way. Nah, he gets better with every fight. Like Andrew Ward say, he's a problem for any guy he fights. He's just a problem. And you guys are right. Listen, guys, love you guys. I will see you later on today.